You know, AutoZone is great at helping their customers.
True. From free battery charging to Loan-A-Tool, they help people get in the zone.
I was thinking, what if they also helped us send 4 listeners to the ESPYs?
Greeny, that's exactly what they're doing. It's the Mike and Mike experience at the ESPYs presented by AutoZone. Folks just have to listen and watch us from April 20th through May 15th. All the details are at espnradio.com/Mike's SB contest.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's called The Zone. AutoZone's going to help you get there.
National League Central rivals go head-to-head this weekend when the Pirates face the Cubs at Wrigley.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
The pregame at 3 Eastern, first pitch at 4. Saturday on ESPN Radio and the new ESPN app. This is the Best of Mike and Mike podcast on ESPNRadio.com. The Best of Mike and Mike.
It is Monday after the Masters. Here's the Dive Club at Barefoot Resort in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The fans of the show filing in this morning, and everybody ready to go. So are we. Ryan Ruocco in for Greeny, alongside Golic here on Mike and Mike on ESPN Radio and on TV on ESPN2. 21st annual Hootie and the Blowfish Pro-Am. And how about that song, Darius?
Well, let me tell you what, it's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah,
pretty cool. I made him do it, but, he didn't really want to, but I kind of forced him into it. But glad you're in today. Again, Greeny loves this trip, would have loved to have been here. He does have some family medical issues dealing with there, so he really wanted to be here, but there was no way he could have today, so he certainly is sorry he can't be here, but he had to deal with what he needed to deal with. Appreciate you stepping in, because we love coming in. It's our, 5th year here,
That's
21st
right.
year of this tournament, 13th year here in Myrtle Beach, our 5th time around, and this is one of the best Pro-Ams, one of the best the charity golf events there is around. I absolutely love playing in this. We love coming here. Hootie and the Blowfish, all the guys are fantastic. They'll be up here on stage as they normally are. A little later in the show, looks like at this point we'll keep our fingers crossed and knock on wood that the rain holds off. I know I'm not supposed to even bring that up because there's rain gods and golf gods.
Yeah.
I don't believe in any of that stuff. I just believe that you played very well or you played very bad to win or lose. There are no gods involved at all. But if there were gods, they were smiling on Jordan Spieth yesterday, that's for sure.
And really the entire weekend. The first wire-to-wire victory for anybody at the Masters in 39 years, and he does it at 21 years old, Golic, and the entire time calmly, very likable guy, so professional. And I wondered, as good as he was through the first 36, I wondered, okay, now that he's going to have the final weekend pressure on him and all the cameras on him and all the eyes on him and the questions about whether or not he was going to hold people off. And there were some big-name golfers who started to make their runs. Is he going to be able to hold them off? Golic, nobody ended up coming close to scraping the lead he had at the end of the day.
Yeah, 4 to start. It was a 3 for a while. There was a point where it could have got to 2, but it didn't. So 3 was the most it got to. Listen, as I threw out there, and we'll talk about, when you're 21, is there any what's better? If you're an athlete and you're 21 years old, so at 21 you certainly could be in any of the other professions. So is a championship in a team sport as cool at 21 years old as being the star in a team sport? Putting on the green jacket at 21 years old, and the way he carried himself. I saw the picture floating around. I actually retweeted it. Just 3 years ago, a picture of him and his Texas teammates.
He would have been graduating.
He would have been graduating. Yeah. Good thing you can leave early. Yeah. In golf, we don't have that one and done rule. I heard that joke going around as well. But you're right. The way he carried himself, and we all know golf to be such a respectful sport. And in some team sports, we always talk about what is the player today like compared, do they respect the game and know the game the way the players of the past? I had former teammates of mine as they went on to other teams while we were still playing, talking to younger players who didn't know any history of the game or know a lot about the game. Golf certainly seems to be different in that aspect of the reverence for the game and understanding who came before you. And I like seeing that. I like seeing that respect, certainly by the players who have been around for a while, but the younger players to understand that, to realize just what they've done. And even by the time Jordan signed off yesterday, he said it still hadn't sunken in yet on what exactly he had done. But his demeanor was just incredible. Listen, I know it's done at other places when a guy's a lead like that, you let him walk up the 18th, and Justin Rose did. I understand that. But it doesn't mean it's not worth appreciating. Mm-hmm. You know, I mentioned that. Someone's like, oh, they do it everywhere. I said, it doesn't matter. I said, it doesn't mean we can't appreciate that moment, you know, for the second youngest person ever to win it, walking up the 18th. And then to see him share that with his family. You know, I mean, mom and dad and brother. I know sister was at home and girlfriend there. And then the hug with his grandfather.
His grandpa, yeah, that was the one that,
smokes.
yeah, I know.
You know, that one got me. So just everybody there to share it together, I thought was just an incredible moment for him. What really, it was just kind of pushed aside because we know you don't get to this score often. But he was one putt away from actually owning the record. Yeah. I mean, listen, you're tied with the record, which is cool. But he had been making those putts the whole tournament, and he misses that last one to go from 19 under to 18 under, 269 to 270, and all of a sudden he's now sharing the record. I'm sure it's the last thing on his mind, but I guarantee you that that's going to haunt him. That you could think nothing could be wrong about this as a competitive athlete. That's going to hound him because you don't get to that score often. So when you were there and you had the ability, you had 3 holes left to try and hold that, and he didn't. I'm telling you, that's something that's going to haunt him.
Well, he is the first golfer ever to reach 19 under at any point during the Masters. Of course, he finishes at 18 under, which is tied with Tiger Woods, the lowest score ever at the Masters, which Tiger also did at 21 years old. And you're right, though, Golic, and the interesting thing just about that last missed putt, which obviously to the win was inconsequential, but to the record ended up meaning he shares it with Tiger, is those were the putts he was hitting all tournament. That's what he's not a big hitter. This guy is just has a dynamite short game, and his putting, those putts, you know, from 6 to 11 feet, he was draining them all tournament so consistently.
Yeah, and when he had bad shots, they turned out okay.
Yeah.
You know, he hit a bad shot but never ended up in a bad position. You know, it's a credit to the way he plays. And then I thought about this, and really it's something everybody can kind of think about. How you play. Do you play better when the competition's there, when you're fighting either even with someone or trying to catch someone or with a 4-shot lead? Because we've seen it before. Obviously, this year he won. Rory McIlroy, I mean, you know, no one ever wants him to bring up 2011, you know, when he had a 4-stroke lead going into the final round, shoots an 80 and ends up tied for 15th.
Right.
You go back to 96, you had Greg Norman had the 6-shot lead, ends up second. So you're looking at players with leads that big. Tiger had the 9-stroke lead, you know, won by 12. But with that 4-stroke lead right in that area, you know, is there a comfort level of when you have the lead, so you're kind of up there, and people are saying the only way you can lose is if you blow it. I mean, who wants to hear that, you know? Or you got to go get that guy to win. You know, there's something about that competitive juices. Okay, I got to go get that guy. I know I got to go for this shot. I got to go for this shot. Where when you have the lead, it's like, okay, what do I do on this shot? You know, do I pull back? He just did his thing, though. Good credit, 21 years old. He and his caddy working so well together, just absolutely did his thing, and went on to a very, very easy victory.
Mike and Mike presented by Progressive Insurance. More independent agents sell Progressive Insurance than any other brand. Find an agent at Progressive.com. Now that's Progressive. Here was Jordan Spieth talking about winning the Masters at only 21 years old.
To have left school and take a chance and everything that happened in 2013 to prepare for last year to be in the majors, and 2013 is the reason I had the experience from last year, which then allowed me to win this year. So it's all run together. It all happened quickly. Sometimes it feels like a long time ago, and sometimes it feels like yesterday. But all in all, it's really cool.
Yeah, I'd say it's really cool to win the Masters. Isn't that, there's just like such a humility even in his description of it. Yeah, you know, winning the Masters. Yeah. It's cool.
Pretty cool.
It's cool to do that. It's not a bad accomplishment. Mike and Mike presented by Progressive Insurance. All of our guests come to us via the Subway Fresh Take hotline. The point you just made, Golic, I think is an interesting one. Holding people off. Yeah. You know, I feel like it's harder to be the hunted than the hunter. Because when you're the hunter, there's not as much pressure. You're looking to gain something. You're not looking to keep something. In the case of Jordan Spieth, for him to go that many holes and hold off everybody, and I think there's also an impressive element that he finished second last year. he was looking to exact some revenge or to climb the mountain that he almost got to the top of last year. Both of those pieces of him accomplishing this feat are so impressive to me, that he was able to resurrect what he couldn't quite finish off last year, and that he went the entire tournament holding everybody off. That's not easy to do.
He's now played in 2 Masters. He's been in the last group in both Masters. Yeah. Doesn't know what it's like not to be in the last group. In 8 career Master rounds, he's never recorded a score worse than even par. It's the longest streak to start a Masters career. Really, really impressive. And it's I really think that's an interesting and there's no answer to it. It's just how you're more comfortable playing. You look at Tiger Woods when he won all his majors. How many times did he come from behind to do it?
I think there was maybe one where he came from more than like a shot or two.
And on the last day, on the last day. I mean, so guys, play ahead and hold the lead, so you have to chase, because I remember during Tiger's dominance, he usually led so much that people had to change what they were doing to try and catch him.
Yeah.
Certainly we're not there yet with Jordan Spieth, but a lot of people said this was going to be his coming out party. This was while the money, the best odds going in was Rory, Jordan Spieth was right there, and he let you know early that he was going to be the guy.
I remember when you bring up Tiger, that was what Tiger was known for, is when he was up after 36 holes, when he was up after 54 holes, you weren't going to catch him. He was going to beat you because he knew how to be, front runner has a negative connotation, so I don't mean it that way, but he just knew how to make sure to hold on to victory when he had it. And that's what you saw from Jordan Spieth yesterday. And, of course, he also is the first golfer, other than Tiger, who was also 21, to shoot 18 under at the Masters. So a remarkable accomplishment for him.
The best of Mike and Mike.
Oh, yes, Ryan Ruocco in for Greeny alongside Golic here on Mike and Mike. Monday after the Masters at the Dye Club at Barefoot Resort in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I feel like our relationship's really expanding, too. Now we go on vacation together,
It's not. I don't really like you.
No.
It's not. You're trying really hard with this relationship.
No.
You text me all the time. You tweet at me. I don't follow you. I'm not going to. Okay?
You do follow me.
You know why I follow you? One time we did a show together. My phone was on the desk, and you hit follow.
That might have happened.
You made me follow you, and I immediately unfollowed you. I don't like you that much.
I know, but I really am trying. And true story, yesterday I went to text you, and the whole thing about not responding to me, it is sort of true. I realized, like, my last 3 texts.
Yeah.
As I say, there was a lot of blue there, bro.
Yeah.
And the blue is from me.
Get an idea, my friend?
Yeah.
Though I will say I am happy that what I've done for you and your family. Ryan was what were you?
Well, I sort of morphed from vegan to pescatarian.
Vegan and a pest. Is what he was.
And I'm still a pest, but not a vegan.
You still are a pest, but you had all this funky eating stuff.
I did, yeah.
But now you've come over to the good side.
Yeah.
Right? And it all started when you and I had a wager. When I go through my wagering and normally lose and end up oiled up and naked doing a butt photo. Hopefully that won't happen again for a while. But I won this, and it was if you had won, you were going to prepare a vegan or pesty type of meal for me.
Yeah, you're going to have to eat like tempeh or a seitan, something along those lines.
Which is
delicious.
Just sounds horrific.
They love it here in Myrtle Beach.
I'm sure they do. Yeah, and if I won, you were going to have a steak. And I won, and it only the best time you can eat a steak about 7 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah,
you went and ate a steak, and what did that lead you to?
Oh, it was a gateway drug.
Yeah,
I mean, it was totally a gateway drug.
Yeah,
Once I tasted meat again, I had to have more.
That's
it. Like,
now you're done.
All of a sudden, I was like, oh, maybe I'll have a wing, and then it was like, I'll have a bite of the burger. Now, forget it. I mean, yesterday I was scarfing down wings.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I feel like I've added to the shortening of your life, and I appreciate that very much.
Exactly. Yeah. It's always good when you can have that kind of impact on somebody, when you can shorten their existence on this planet. So thank you for shortening mine, Gold.
That's how I roll.
Speaking of, people who are medically capable, Tiger Woods apparently is. Now, yesterday, I'm sure a lot of you saw when he hit a root, and it looked like he injured his wrist again. But then he continued to play, and he even eagled after that. And so we thought, okay, well, maybe it wasn't as bad as it seemed. Well, according to Tiger, something did go on with his wrist. He just happened to take care of it himself. Take a listen to Tiger talking about how he was able to handle his injury.
It definitely hurt. I didn't know there was a tree root there, and I drove the club straight into it, and it didn't move, but my body kept moving, and And I told the guys in there that there was a little joint that popped out, and I was able to somehow put it back in, which didn't feel very good, but at least it got back in, and I could move my hand again.
That could not have felt good. There's no doubt about that. It looked like it stung him when he did it. As far as medically what happened to him, I have no idea. We went from little joint that popped out. He was able to pop it back in. The bone kind of popped out in the joint and kind of went out of place. I put it back in. Now, in other interviews, he said he never mentioned the bone, only said the joint popped out. I have no idea. I wasn't there, and I'm certainly not a doctor, but he knows his body. And boy, for a guy that coming back from injuries and coming back and then to have now this really didn't seem to affect him. I mean, two holes later, you couldn't really even tell anything was going on. You see him shake it every now and then. So we'll see what the aftermath of it is, the next day, and if it's sore and what actually.
He said he may not lift for a while.
Yeah, and what actually medically, when they take some pictures from it, what actually he did to it. So we'll see. But, I did have my wager with Greeny, and he won it again. I sound like I have a problem for all the wagering I'm doing.
You do gamble a lot, don't you?
For someone that said I'm done gambling, I certainly have gambled an awful lot.
Yeah.
But I had said going in that I didn't think Tiger would make the cut. I wanted him to.
Yeah.
I wanted him to make the cut, and I wanted him to regain some of that play certainly we had seen out of him. But there was really nothing that had given me any thought that he would. So I said I didn't think he would. Greeny said he did. Now he gets to Nerd Notes. He can change the name of it now because he doesn't like the fact that it's Nerd Notes. Though if you do them today, I guarantee you they're Nerd Notes.
I don't have that ability to change them.
No, you do not.
Okay, all right.
So Tiger obviously makes a cut. Tiger got himself on the first board. The first sheet of the leaderboard, and was playing well. But he's just, as you see during his time, what was good to see, forgetting the wrist, but especially from the knee and especially from the back, you really didn't see any issues. So you hope medically he's okay, and can play because, can play, and not for not medical reasons of being hurt, not to play for that. And what you see out of Tiger, you saw the short game better, you saw the chipping better, you saw the putting better, but then you see the last day, you couldn't throw the ball onto the fairway.
You only hit 2 fairways.
Yeah, so I mean, it's obviously when you're missing that amount of time, though he did put himself somewhat relevant to, talking about him, though we were talking about a lot of people, but they weren't close enough to Jordan. Imagine if Spieth wasn't doing what he was doing, the race that we were going to have with some golfers.
The way
out
McIlroy
there.
played
and
from the second night of Friday on.
Phil Mickelson, the way he was playing, Justin Rose, those guys. So, but Spieth took that out of the equation. So with Tiger, I would imagine it's what we thought. It would be consistency.
Yeah.
This part looks good, this part not so much, and then it flip flops, and we'll see if he can put a string of time together to see what he can do. But clearly the game, looks like we have 1 and 2 in the world now. This jumped Spieth from 4 to 2. So you have your 1 and 2 in the world. Rory 1 and him 2 as 25 and 21-year-olds. So that this is where golf is right now. These are the stars of the game.
And you hope a rivalry builds there. Tiger, he wouldn't also say when he was going to play again. He didn't reveal that. But you think about the last 2 times we had seen him go, like, he has to pull out because of injury. He misses the cut. Was this vintage Tiger? No.
But he played 4 rounds.
Yeah, but he played. Yeah, exactly. He completed the tournament. There was value in that. It had been a while, and I think that even though it's not the dominance or what we normally associate with Tiger at his best, this was a significantly better Tiger Woods than one we had seen in quite a bit of time.
Yeah, making a cut and finishing the tournament, and it's a shame that's where we are now.
Yeah, that's the standard, right?
When the first thought is he going to make the cut or not? Again, so let's see if we'll see some consistency of him actually in tournament after tournament, or whatever his schedule normally is, and B, once he's in the tournament, if he can start to get himself back near the top. We'll see. Phil Mickelson, that was great to see as well.
Yeah,
he ends up with his 11th. Finished tied for second, his 11th career top 5 finish at the Masters. It was good to see him doing what he was doing. Him and Justin Rose every now and then would make that little run, and you think they were getting there.
Yeah.
Is there a chance? You wanted to see it. That's what's so bad.
Yeah.
You're sitting on the 52-year-old washed-up former athlete watching this 21-year-old kid do this magical stuff, and every now and then I'm like, shank it. Miss it. miss it. You know, and at one point I caught myself just like, what am I doing? This kid's playing a masterful 4 days of golf, and I'm wanting him to screw up because that's the only way anybody's catching him. So I'm thinking about, as I'm sure everybody else was, don't tell me you weren't thinking that for your enjoyment of watching the Masters.
Yeah, you wanted some competition.
You wanted to see if there was going to be some drama at the end, but Spieth said, not this tournament, not today, and the 21-year-old, wow, I mean, puts on the green jacket. It was really, really incredible.
The best of Mike and Mike.
Mike and Mike.
Golic, and it's a perfect Monday to be on after what was a historic Masters yesterday, and that's not being hyperbolic. That's literal. Jordan Spieth, what he did yesterday is something we've seen just once before, winning at 18 under. And the only other time we saw it, Tiger Woods, who was also 21 years old when he did it. And, you know, just as impressive as the age and the score that he ended up with, shooting 270 over the 4 days, that he went wire to wire, Golic.
Yeah.
This is a guy who last year finished second, obviously wants to, you know, take a step up from his finish last year, isn't only able to do it, but he does it leading wire to wire, the first golfer to do that at the Masters in 39 years.
It's incredible, and we're going to have Andy North in a couple of minutes, and I really want to get the mindset of a golfer as playing with a 4-stroke lead as opposed to playing even, as opposed to playing a stroke down and trying to catch up just where you are mentally. And I'm sure everybody's different in that respect because it became pretty evident that as we watched other players play and we thought who's going to catch him, we got to the point pretty early in this tournament where we thought the only way he's going to lose if he starts screwing up.
Right.
So it wasn't about what can anybody else do, but it's what they had to do while Jordan took a step or two back. And he just never did. When he hit a bad shot, when he didn't connect well, it never put him in horrible position. You know, he had his few slip-ups every now and then, bogey here, bogey there, double bogey here. It never put him in a bad way. There was a moment yesterday where we could have got to a 2-stroke swing, but then it got down to 3 at one point. But when after the 15th, when he went 19 under, you knew he won it. Now it was just a matter of could he hold it, and that because that was the record. And then the last putt, the second to last putt, really, if he drained a putt he'd been draining all weekend, he would have had that 269 and had the outright record, but he didn't. So he ties Tiger. A lot of symmetry to those two with the age and what they were shooting then, and now it's just what happens. It's just what happens. Now it's okay. We put your names next to Tiger when you won your first major, your first Masters. We look at the scores. We look at the age. Now what are you going to do?
Yeah, absolutely, and especially when you consider Golic, his first 8 rounds at the Masters, Jordan Spieth between these 2 years, he's 23 under par. The next closest score for a Masters career first 8 rounds is Jason Day at 14 under. He's 9 strokes better than anybody ever has been in the history of this game through their first 8 rounds at the Masters.
The amount of records, I mean, throw another one in there, most birdies. What it was, Phil had it at 25. He ended up with 28, did Spieth, 28 birdies. I mean, he just, as we had Jason Sobel on earlier saying that Spieth felt almost that he knew in his head almost every shot or every putt in that last round. There was, or even during the tournament, there was something on it. From best, score after 3 rounds to, most birdies to that there was something on every putt. Little did he know what was on that second to last putt.
Yeah.
That he ended up missing in tying. But I'm sure, while at some point I do think he's going to go, the old what if, you could own that. But he's got more important things to be worrying about and talking about, and that's what's next. Though a lot of people were thinking this is what the expectation was from Jordan, from playing at Texas to last year and the last group of the Masters to winning it this year. So there was a lot in the golf world, and we'll find out now from Andy North of did we kind of see this coming.
That's right. 2-time U.S. Open champion and ESPN golf analyst Andy North joining us now on the Subway Fresh Take Hotline. Andy, within the golf community, it certainly seemed like there were these expectations for Jordan Spieth, but how did his performance compare to what you expected from him?
Well, to be quite honest, I have high expectations for him. He is a fantastic young man and a terrific player. His play in the last 12 months has been unbelievable. Coming into here, with 2 seconds in the first, he was my pick at the beginning of the week, and that didn't take any, that wasn't any genius of any kind. I can tell you that. It was so obvious, and but you just don't know how you're going to perform. And the way he attacked the golf course, the way he took it apart, the putting, the short game, the wedge play. I mean, he did everything he's supposed to do, and it was a joy to watch.
You know, I brought this up earlier, Andy, about, and it would seem if you asked the question, would you rather, start the last round a shot down or 4 shots up? I think anybody would take 4 shots up. But we've seen Rory 4 shots up in 2011. We've seen Norman 6 shots up in 96 and not win. Talk about that mentality of how you go into a round when you're sitting on top of the mountain just waiting to be crowned as opposed to scaling the mountain a little bit and trying to catch somebody.
Well, if you go out thinking you got to protect that 4-shot lead on that particular golf course, you're going to be in trouble. There's so many places that you can mess up, and there's so many places where the other players can make birdies and eagles that you still have to stay aggressive. And he talked about it afterwards, that he had set some little targets for himself that in his mind he was starting fresh, and he was tied with Justin, and he had to go out and beat him. And I think you saw after the bogey 3-putt he made at 12 how aggressively he played 13, how aggressively he played 15. I mean, those are situations with a 3 or 4 shot lead. A guy can lay up and you start playing in defense mode, and all of a sudden you're in trouble. I mean, it's prevent defense in your sport, Mike. That as soon as you go into prevent, you usually prevent winning the game. So he kept aggressive, and I thought that was very important.
Talking with Andy North, ESPN golf analyst, 2-time U.S. Open champion, joining us on the Subway Fresh Take Hotline. Andy, what is it about Jordan's game that separates him, that makes him so good?
Well, I think the biggest thing, one, he is a very consistent player. He's a very mature player, as he showed all week long. He doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. He drives the ball relatively straight. He has enough length to play pretty much anywhere. But the real strengths, he's so good with his wedges. Every time he had to lay up in a par 5, he hit it in there 5 or 6 feet, make birdie. He did that at 13 and 15 on Saturday. It was just, and there's the calmness that he has. I mean, there's a lot of people that have as much game as he does, but they don't have what he has inside and the mental strength and too often we all talk about he's got it. Well, who knows what it is, but he's got it, and he's going to have a wonderful future.
How frustrating for other golfers out there playing well. Other guys do, the Phils and the Justin Roses of the world and Hoffman for a bit. When you're sitting there 12, 13, 14 under, you would take that in a lot of tournaments, and here it doesn't even get you close to the lead. What's the frustration level when you're trying to catch someone and then there's that realization, we ain't catching them?
Yeah, that is frustrating. And you look at the scores that Phil and Justin shot, you're talking maybe winning 72 of the past 78 Masters, I believe. So, it's one of those situations that all you can do is your best. This is the one sport that you can't play defense. You've got to just give it your best shot. Try to put some pressure on them. And Phil talked about that he needed to start out a little bit faster. And particularly playing in the group in front of Jordan, if you could start making some putts where he's standing in the fairway watching you make putts, that really applies the pressure. Phil was just disappointed he wasn't able to do that earlier in the round.
I don't want to rain on it at all, but when you play that well, you want to try and find out everything. Because I heard on the broadcast when they're talking about when Spieth missed, he still didn't get himself into trouble. How much? Yeah, and I get what they were saying, but how much of that? Let's be honest. How much of that can luck be as well, to not hit it wrong but still not get into trouble?
Sure. Well, obviously every sport you play, a little bit of good luck doesn't hurt you. The first day you hit a couple of nice bounces, you hit a pin, that sort of thing. But when you're attacking a golf course like Augusta National, it's really important to understand where you can miss it. So you play shots with the idea that if you don't pull the shot off, you're probably going to miss it in a certain area. And that's the real key. An example of that, the par 5-8 yesterday. Jordan hit 2 nice shots right in the front of the green where he's got just this perfect little pitch straight up the hill that was as easy as you could possibly have, where if you're 3 yards left of the green or 3 yards right of the green, it's almost impossible to get the ball up and in. So the key is having a strategy, planning out properly, and then just you know, the more good shots you hit, the fewer times you're going to put yourself in positions where you can't play. And early, particularly the first 2 days, every approach shot Jordan hit was below the hole, which is exactly what you have to do there. He saw very few putts he had to have putting down the hills or across the hills with great breaks. And because of that, you can make putts, and he shot a terrific score the first 2 days.
Andy North giving us his Subway Fresh take. Try the new Turkey Italiano melt at Subway today. Subway, eat fresh. Andy, how about Tiger Woods? And obviously he gets through 72 holes, which is something we hadn't seen in a while. Played fairly well. How much of a positive step was this for Tiger?
I think it was a very positive step. I mean, when we last saw him, you know, he was a 6 handicap the way he was playing. And to go back and work hard, the one thing that we all like to see is results after you've put the work in. And sometimes it doesn't happen. But, you know, he's worked really hard the last couple of months. He looked in awesome shape. He played a little bit better every single day he was there, I thought, until Sunday. And, you know, part of the Sunday is that you're trying to go out and catch a guy. You're trying to put your foot down. And, you know, sometimes you try so hard you don't play very well. But I think, you know, I'm sure flying home last night, he was disappointed he didn't play better on Sunday. But I think the big picture is that, hey, I made some big headway. I'm getting closer to what I wanted to do. And there are some stretches in there on Friday and Saturday where he really looked like the Tiger Woods that we used to watch.
So Spieth wins it, sets all kind of records. He's 21 years old. His family is there. He celebrates with them. It looks like just the perfect situation for this young new star. So are we going to do what we do with most guys like this, put unrealistic expectations on them?
Of course we will. I mean, that's what this age has become. But the one nice thing about Jordan is that the pressure that's been on him, he put on himself. I mean, he said, you know, even in the week that he was there to win the golf tournament. You know, he was putting pressure on himself to win this golf tournament. There's greatness in Jordan Spieth, and he is going to be a special player, partially because he is really grounded. He totally understands reality. He's not going to get caught up in so much of the stuff that happens after people have great success. He's going to make a lot of money. We all know that. But I think the wonderful thing about him, and I think you see it in Rory, you saw it in Tiger, it's about winning golf tournament to them. It's not about the money. If they handed him a check last night for $250, it wouldn't have made any difference. And I think that's the real key to great players, is that it's all about the process of playing the best golf you can and winning championships, and that's what it's all about, and you know, everything else is secondary.
I thought I saw this, and then he actually referenced it after. I thought it was interesting. He seemed to be more worried, Andy, about his hairline the last couple of holes when he knew what the amount of exposure everything was going to get after he won it. It seemed like a 21-year-old kid at that point.
Well, you know, that's another advertising opportunity.
That's right. Andy, always great chatting with you. Thanks so much for the perspective this morning.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, Andy.
All right, that is Andy North joining us on the Subway Fresh Take Hotline.
And, you know, listen, I agree with him about the check. You know, the check is nice, and I'll be honest, I don't even know what they make for winning it, but I know it's more than $250. But I think he's right for the fact that you have the green jacket. That to them is worth everything. Plus, with these guys, you know, going in this direction, the amount of money they make on the golf course is paltry compared to the amount, you know, he's going to get Under Armour that he just they ripped up a deal and signed a new 10-year deal with him. I don't know what it was for, but let me tell you what, they're getting their money's worth right now, and he'll sign more. So this is where they all make their money anyway. You know, you make however many millions of, you know, on through your play during the year, and then you make, you know, 10 times that, you know, on off the field with all the endorsements. So, you know, that's one of the great things that comes along with it. So I agree with Andy. He'd take less of a check for it, but he's certainly going to cash the one they're going to give him.
Guys, when you buy your clothes at DXL, you look good, but you feel like a rock star. So if you want to look and feel like you'll find all the brands you love, waist size 38 and up, all in one awesome store. DXL. You're looking good. Right now, select dress shirts are just $49.50 each when you buy 2 or more.
The best of Mike and Mike.
Ryan Ruocco in for Greeny alongside Golic, and now Shane Battier as well, our college basketball analyst in his first year full-time off the court, and I guess on the course today as part of the 21st annual Hootie and the Blowfish Pro-Am, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot of people here. I'm a little worried.
Yeah.
All right. Let me tell you, that's the tough. You're absolutely. How are you? You good at this game?
I'm good enough to be dangerous.
Okay. All right.
Take that how you will.
Dangerous at times to the patrons,
to humanity.
Because let me tell you what, this place gets full. That was one of the first things that happened to me at this is like, oh my God, these people are right where I hit it. You mean in the rough?
It's a different type of pressure. I mean,
it really is.
We've played in front of tens of thousands of people. But sit down that first tee.
It is.
You're putting your golf ball on the ground like this.
You are, because the sport we played, we felt like we were in control. And here,
it is a different animal.
Yeah, once that club goes in the air, I got no control of it on the way down.
So I apologize. Everybody, I apologize right now.
And we apologize to you for the fact that we have to do this segment. We're not allowed to talk any Duke basketball. It's just kind of
that's it. No Duke. No
mention of the 5th championship.
Jeez.
You know, Shane, you know him so well. What is it about him that he is continuously able to connect with a different generation of athletes, with freshmen, with seniors? Why is he so good so consistently?
His fire. You talk to him in the summer, and he is so fired up, so ready to attack the next season.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for a long time. I don't care. You do something for 30, 35 years. I don't care what you're doing. It's hard to have that competitive fire 30 years in, but he's an innovator. He's not afraid to fail. He's not afraid to reinvent himself. And so he's always had a pulse of his guys and his teams.
I can't remember if I asked you. We talked to so many Dukies over the last couple of weeks. With him coaching at Duke and certainly him getting to be with the pro players for USA Basketball, was there ever a thought where you thought, I think he's going to go. I think he's going to go be the Lakers coach. I think he's going to go to the NBA.
Because I knew he always wanted to test himself, there was always that fear for the guys who played for him. Because that's the ultimate test for a college coach. Hey, can I go to the highest level and win? I think he sort of scratched that itch with USA Basketball. And, he got the best of the best. So,
that's pretty nice.
I'm going to go coach LeBron.
If he goes to a team, an NBA team, that's a letdown.
Exactly. So, I think luckily for Duke, he was able to get his pro fix through USA Basketball.
I'm curious, Shane, do you think Okafor is going to be a good pro?
I do.
Yeah.
You talk about a guy who, from day one, will command a double team. There's only a handful of guys in the league that you can throw on that low block, throw the ball to, and say go to work and command a double team. And that's really important to have a guy who creates a double team, whether it's through pick and roll, whether it's through isolation, whether it's through a post. A coach can work with a guy who draws a double team. And that's why Okafor, who's so skilled on the block, will be a very good player and probably the first pick.
How about on the other side of the court, though? How about when he has to be pulled away from the basket a little bit? We saw that with Kaminsky able to go by himself. In the game of today where the big men are athletic, how about that side of the court?
Well, you figure it out. I play with Yao Ming. And in the fourth quarter, we knew what play was going to be run every single time. ISO Yao. Put Yao Ming in a pick and roll. And you know what? You either figure it out or you don't.
Yeah.
And so he's not going to be able to hide. You'll hide him for 3 quarters. In the fourth quarters, you know exactly where the defensive weakness is on the other team.
Shane Battier hanging out with us here. Ryan Ruocco in for Greeny along with Golic on Mike and Mike. Shane, how about if you're coming out of college, would you rather the player be polished defensively or offensively? Because I feel like with Okafor, we look at his offense, we can say, oh my gosh, he's ready to go. You're talking about how he's already going to command the double team. Yeah. And defensively, we say, whoa, I don't know if he can have an impact on that side of the floor.
Every player, obviously, has to learn what NBA defense is about. When I was a rookie, I had a pretty good career as a defender.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant scored 56 points on me in 3 quarters. 3 quarters. They're being so bad, he didn't play in the fourth quarter. So he scored 56 points. And I learned what Kobe Island was all about. And so I don't care who you are as a young fella. You have to learn what you can get away with. You have to adjust the length and the athleticism of the NBA. I think the transition is easier if you're more polished offensively. You know why? Because coaches are willing to live with their mistakes a little more. And so as long as you can do this, you're going to get a shot to play. That's what I tell young players.
In the NBA now, there's so much talk. Well, we always talk about teams that tank, teams that try, and then now do you try to make the playoffs? Do you not? What's better for you? Where's your draft pick? If you do, if you don't, those kind of things. Do you think the NBA is at a point where they need to revamp and look again at the playoff structure of what teams are doing to not get into the playoffs and try and get more ping pong balls?
I think so. I think for the integrity of the game, to honor our fan base, and the teams that are creatively rebuilding. Is
that the term? That's a good term. That's pretty good.
Creatively,
I like that.
There's a question about is this great for the game? And it would be awesome if every team was going out every single night trying to win and put it on the line for our fans and to respect the game. You can't disrespect the game. You can't take shortcuts. And so I think Adam Silver and the powers that be in New York will take this opportunity to make the NBA and keep it the best game in the world.
We were talking about it earlier, Shane, the different position that the Pelicans and Thunder are in. Because they're actually in the same position when it comes to the standings. But I feel like the Thunder, they go be the 8th seed. They're better off keeping their draft pick. They don't need to taste the postseason necessarily. They're better off trying to get, a player who can help them grow with the core they already have. The Pelicans, I look at it and I think that could be such a valuable experience for a young core that's looking to grow together if they go to the playoffs.
Well, it's amazing. The cliff between the 8th seed and missing the playoffs is huge for everybody.
Yeah.
For everybody. Even if you just sneak into the playoffs, the fact that you're a playoff team versus a lottery team, psychologically, goes a long, long way. So all those guys are trying to sneak in. You don't want to be on the team and say, you know what, we were a lottery team, even though we just missed the playoffs.
So even if you're part of that Thunder organization, you're saying, no, we want the playoffs.
You want a crack. You get in the crack. I was on the 8th seed that beat the Spurs many years ago.
Yeah.
So hey, you just want to get in the dance. Go from there.
All right. So to finish up, when we do the long drive contest right after our show, what do you hit? What are you going to go?
I'm going to play a nice snap hook and hit it about 260.
No, come on, Shane. You're too. I need to see 300 from you, Shane.
No, my game is touch.
Is that what it is?
Touch. Don't be fooled by the length and athleticism. Touch.
It sounds like all these kind people need to put on armor when they're anywhere near you on the golf course. That's what it sounds like.
Mike and Mike.
And right now we are joined by Lions Pro Bowl receiver and a Super Bowl champion with the Seahawks the season before, and that is Golden Tate with us here. How are you, Golden?
I'm great. Feeling stellar, ready to try to hit him straight today.
Yeah, for those that are watching on TV, if you saw Golden walking up here, he always the shirt is bright, but the pants are just phenomenal.
The pants are phenomenal.
We may have to get you to walk the runway.
Yeah, we may have to have you do a little runway walk.
Just really incredible. But I know you do the knicker thing too as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Or have you've done that, right?
So my theory is either you play good or you look good. I'm going to be on the look good side 85% of the time.
See, that's good. Because my thing is I can't look that good, so I just try and get in a position where I don't remember anything.
That comes shortly after.
That's swing juice. Is what Gola calls it, because he doesn't have the play good option either. So you're stuck with
that. But you're good at this game, right? You're pretty good.
Today I'm feeling like I'm gonna be all right.
Yeah?
Yeah?
I'm gonna be all right. I got some people to impress.
So we had Shane Daddy-Ann earlier. It was a long drive contest right after this, which I've won the last 4 years. Okay. I haven't, but it sounds good to say. Will you be in the running for this? Are you a long ball hitter?
Yeah. Right now I'm still the ground's still moving a little bit, but hopefully by then I'll be all right.
All right. Okay.
I'm starting to dial in. I get some Bojangles in me. I'll be all right.
There you go. Now we got some of that working.
Now what's a long Golden Tate drive? Like we talking 3 plus? Where are we getting?
Wind's gonna
He's checking the wind. He's checking the wind.
Yeah. If we're hitting that way, maybe 350.
Ooh, how about that? All right.
Minus about 30 yards.
What a quick eye roll that was.
Big prediction. So, Golden, you guys, I wanted to ask you, you win a Super Bowl with Seattle.
Yeah.
You end up going to Detroit. You have a fantastic season this year. You're every fantasy player's dream come true. You go to the Pro Bowl. And then, when you are watching your former team play in the Super Bowl, are you rooting for them or against them when you're not with them anymore?
It's tough. You think about it like I could have been in that situation for year 2, but at the same time, I gotta take care of my family. That's the priority, and that's the route that I took. I'm gonna play this game for, hopefully 15 years if I'm lucky. So I plan on living until I'm about 80, 90 years old. So I want to be able to take care of my family, send my kids to college, and whatever else pops up in life. So I had to make that decision, but I have a great relationship with a bunch of guys on that team. So I was extremely happy to see those guys in that position for the second year straight, and I think those guys will go back again at some point after we go this year.
Well, that's what I want to get to. Because listen, I mean, sometimes I understand it. Athletes don't like to talk about the money because it's so out of whack with what everybody else makes. I get that, but also it's fair. It's fair to make a move and have money be a big reason for it. I mean, it's a shorter career, so you make hay while you can. So that said, you played in the Super Bowl, you go to Detroit, but also making money is nice, but you obviously want to win. It's a team sport. You want to win the championship. And we talk about windows. I remember a couple of years ago when Harden and Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant were all out of Oklahoma City. We were thinking, wow, this window is going to be open forever. How's that feeling a couple of years later? With Harden gone, we don't even know if Durant and Westbrook will be on the same team in another year or so. So we talk about windows. We keep talking about I know you haven't been there long, but we keep talking about the talent the Detroit Lions have. They have the talent. They have the talent. Certainly you lost some guys, especially on defense this year, and Ndamukong Suh being the big one. But where are you with the Detroit and that the window of opportunity?
I signed a 5-year deal, and if you look at our roster, we have endless amounts of talent. I mean, young talent that's going to help us big this year. Obviously, we lost Sue and Fairley, which will be a hit, but we also got Nagata from the Ravens, so he's no one's Sue, but he's a good player. So we have talent, like I said. This is going to be year 2 for us learning the offense and the defense. Coach Caldwell, he's earned our respect, and we want to play well for him. We're all in for him. So I think we have all the pieces. The city of Detroit, they're excited for this year. We are as players, and just collectively, we're ready to kick this off April 20th and start working towards being, owning our division. I think that's where it starts, owning our division, because then you get playoff games, and then, what happens in the playoffs when you're playing at home, and, who knows. So, that's our plan.
Lions wideout Golden Tate hanging out with us. Mike and Mike brought to you by Myrtle Beach World Amateur Championship, the world's largest amateur golf tournament. Learn more online at worldamgolf.com. So, Golden, when it comes to losing Ndamukong Suh, when he's becoming a free agent, and you guys all know that in anticipation, were any of you, he got a boatload of money, we know. Were there any calls? Was there any trying to make sure he would stay and keep him around in recruiting?
That's something I let the scouting department handle. I know that we wanted him to stay. He's a heck of a player, and he does fabulous things out there on defense. Changes everything, even for the offensive players. So we wanted him there, but I was just on my knees praying every night, Lord, please bring Sue back. Please bring Sue back. But it wasn't a plan. So I'm happy for him. He deserves it. He's a dominant player, but the show must go on in Detroit. We can't dwell on that. There's nothing we can do now. So I say we move forward with a positive attitude and look forward to the future. Just because we don't have Sue, but we're going to find a way.
Ryan, it's amazing with athletes. One thing they kind of don't interfere with, while they'd like them back, is when someone else is going through like a money thing,
let them get their money.
Let them do their thing.
We understand it.
Yeah, it's exactly right. It's a business, so you're certainly not going to say, oh, hey, we want him back, even if he's wanting to take that hometown. No, because you might be in that same position.
Right.
So you kind of let him do their thing, and like you said, you kind of hope he comes back, but boy, oh boy, they threw some money at him, that's for sure. So I want to turn this to because you like to golf, you like to hang out and do this, and you understand golf, and understand what Jordan Spieth did. So go back. I brought this up when you were 21. Were you a senior then, Notre Dame? Were you already in? So when you were 21, just think about what you wanted at 21 and what you had accomplished at 21 to a man that just put a green jacket on.
Around 21, I was ready for Friday night to come.
Yeah.
I was ready for the weekend. That was my rookie year in the league, so I was just young and immature, and most of the game at golf is right between years. Majority of it is. We're at that level. Everyone can play. So for what I actually was at the tournament for Thursday and Friday, and
really,
his gallery was just people upon people upon people. So, but a heck of a player, and I'm excited for his future. But he ran away with it, and he was consistently playing good golf for 4 days, and that's tough to do. So I had to go off to him, man. I'm excited for him. I think he's going to be one of those. He's going to be a superstar. So
you did. Have you ever been? Yeah. Had you ever been to the Masters before? Or is this your first experience?
This was my first year.
What'd you think?
I was in awe. I walked on and I just couldn't help but to smile. It was like a kid in a candy shop. I loved it. I mean, the turf was phenomenal. The atmosphere was great. Everyone was awesome. But the food, you can walk out of there with the full meal for about $9.50. Pimento cheese, turkey sandwiches,
like $1.50 and $2, isn't it? It's a great price.
I loved it. And that's one thing I respect about it. They're losing millions of dollars by not hiking those prices up because they're going to be bought. But that one thing they keep it there. But the pro shop, on the other hand, I walked. They were cracking my head.
That's where they make up for it, huh?
Man.
There's a pair of Master socks for $800.
They better have gold flakes in them or something.
So, were you not also playing the game and enjoying it like this, but a golf fan? Were you at one point? Because I actually caught myself doing it and felt bad for it. Because I wanted to see a competitive ending, and the only way it was going to happen, it wasn't by urging someone to play better. Jordan would have had to screw up.
Yeah.
So at some point I'm like, miss it or hit a bad shot, and I caught myself. I said, what am I doing? But I was thinking at all. Were you thinking that? Come back to the croup a little bit?
A little bit. I wanted to see him do well, but I was kind of like Buffalo Wild Wings commercial, like something happened, like the sprinkler come up and knock the ball off the tee, and he hits it, shanks it or something like that. But I definitely wanted to see him. I wanted to see it come down to the wire, and I would have loved to see him and Bubba or him and Tiger.
Phil was right there.
Snedeker, someone like that, but, it didn't happen. But you can't, he set records this week. So, I really, really like what he did, and I was there to watch it.
So would it be like that rookie in the NFL making the Pro Bowl and having all this cast upon them, that now there will be too high of expectations for him right now? Unfair expectations?
Naturally, that's just what's going to happen. That people are expecting him to win every major now, and if he for some reason, has a bad tournament, it's going to go, he's lost it, and that's just our nature. But I say he just doesn't listen to everything on the outside, because the outside didn't get him there in the first place. So just keep working hard and don't be content. It's probably the biggest thing. Continue to work hard, and golf is one of those sports that you never really get it. Well, I never have.
A lot of us haven't.
I'm not worried about him. Don't let the pressure get to him. Hopefully, but just enjoy it, man. Enjoy the spotlight right now.
So Golden, we just brought the official prediction: 350 plus for the long drive contest, right?
Yeah, that's with 40 mile per hour wind. With me.
Okay, there you go. Very good. Well, Golden, congrats on a fantastic season for your team, for you individually. Thanks for coming out. Enjoy the golf course today.
It's fun tournament.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
The best of Mike and Mike.
Mike and Mike.
The real lead of SportsCenter, it took place at the South Carolina spring game. Yes, you need to see and listen to this. Darius Rucker catching a touchdown pass. How about that?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Really?
I was open.
Yeah.
That's right. And that is SportsCenter.
SportsCenter brought to you by Myrtle Beach. Experience 4 of the greatest golf courses in America at Barefoot Resort and Golf in North Myrtle Beach, host of this year's Monday After the Masters Celebrity Program. When you book 3 rounds at Barefoot Resort, you're going to get the 4th round free. Just mention promo code 4th round free. Seems easy enough. That's at barefootgolf.com.
That's right. Ryan Rucco in for Greeny alongside Golick. We're at the Dive Club at Barefoot Resort, North Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. It's Monday After the Masters, 21st annual for the Hootie and the Blowfish Pro-Am. And Darius and the guys all with us right now. And, before we get to the tournament, you must have been nervous as that ball's coming to you in the spring game, Darius. We're seeing it floating through the air. Everybody watching.
Yeah, take us through that. South Carolina, spring game. They do a celebrity touchdown.
Yeah.
So you're doing it. So take us through the play.
It was, I ran a great route.
I noticed you didn't run it from the line of scrimmage.
It wasn't a long route. No, and it was a cool thing to get to do. And I'm telling you, your friends are your friends when you get people find out a few days before, and no one's calling going, dude, that's cool. Good luck. Everybody's going, don't drop it, man. You better not drop it. No one's ever dropped it, But that was an honor.
Now you guys would have crushed him if you dropped it, right?
Oh my goodness.
He was covering it.
Were any of you hoping he would drop it?
All 3 of them were hoping I would drop it.
We worked really hard in practice all week. I had a good faith. Obviously, a piece of doctored video together there. They did.
I'm
not sure it really happened.
I watched you and I thought you cradled it into your chest and stomach. And then I saw your feet, and you need 2 in college. You were close there.
Yeah,
as well.
I was in. But
You're an athlete, right?
I was feeling the field. I know where to be.
That's how you roll.
Yeah, that's how I get down.
God, are you laying it out?
Now, Darius,
smokes.
Golic is going to actually sing at one of your concerts coming up. Is this right?
Yes, we had a bet with the Lady Gamecocks and Notre Dame, and what he won was he gets to. Any song in the world he chooses, my band will learn, and he gets to get up and sing that song. And then I have to put on the Notre Dame jersey, and we sing the Notre Dame.
Yes, we do.
You may want to do this at the end of the concert so everybody doesn't, flee for the exit.
That's what I'm hoping.
I'm trying to wonder, guys, if I should feel bad because he said any song in the history of songs except any of his.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to sing all of mine. I don't want you singing all of mine.
All right, so you guys are into golf as well, obviously. So Darius, I'll start with you. Let's Jordan speak. I mean, what at any point, like I was just talking to Golden and Shane Battier before, were you hoping he would come back a little bit, or just that overall 21-year-old experience?
I wanted to see the domination that he really had. There was never a moment when I was watching where I thought anybody else had a chance. Not a moment. I mean, from the time he started playing, it's just like this kid's just playing lights out. And I wanted to see him do what he did, and it was great to watch. But, it's funny because you see Phil and you see the other guys that play really well, and those scores could have won the Masters in
That's right. On a normal year.
Yeah, exactly right. What they say, 72 out of 78 Masters, that score would have won. So, I mean, were you guys all rooting for him or hoping maybe he'd come back? Or
you look at a guy like that, and you can just almost feel as a fan the zone that he's in, that he's not getting out of. You can just go, he's not movable right now today. So I didn't think anybody could catch him, and I didn't think he'd falter. Yeah, everybody wants an exciting finish, but he was in a zone that you don't see all the time.
Here's a stat I heard. He's played 8 rounds now at the Masters, and each of those days he was in the top 5.
Top 5, never shot lower than, never shot worse than 72. You guys are making me all feel horrible now. I was rooting for him to play bad. I was like, please start playing bad so people can catch up.
I know what you mean. I had that feeling too. I was rooting for our South Carolina boy, Dustin Johnson, too.
You know what? He played well. He was playing well, and he had been off for a while. But he had been playing well even coming into this. So you kind of look at the consistency. I guess you could say the same thing about Tiger. It's amazing where Tiger is now. When the first wager is he going to make the cut? Not is he going to be is he going to compete for the title? And he did make the cut, got the wrist thing going. We'll see, but I guess consistency for him and just playing in tournaments.
Exactly, just getting out there and doing it at the highest level with the highest players.
Now Golic claims that he's the 5-time long drive champion here, Darius. Give us the scouting report on Golic's golf game for those who don't know.
When he hits it, it goes a long way. You just don't know which way it's going. He doesn't play very often, so when he does play, but he hits it a long way. Sometimes you don't know which way.
I don't think he has any issues with his golf game. It's more his memory, I think.
That's pretty much it. Probably all the swing juice has something to do with that. Kind of goes along the way here. So 21 years you guys have been doing this, 13 here. So let's talk about first here. Why Myrtle Beach? Why has this been so successful for you?
We were having it in Charleston, and these guys, Myrtle Beach Golf Holiday, came to us and said we could really make it something special here, and they gave us all these things they could do for us, and we moved here, and they gave us all that stuff and tons more.
The facilities really are perfect. We get to play golf here. House of Blues is right down the street for the concert. There's housing for everybody here. It's really wonderful. They take great care of us.
Is there a point where you guys have even stood back and said, wow, I can't believe, A, it's gone on this long, or B, how big it is?
I mean, every year. I mean, if you could have been here the first Monday after the Masters, and still have your liver intact, I mean, you would say, wow, every time you walked out here.
But it seems people are celebrities and golfers are begging to get to this thing now.
It's a fun time, and as you can see, by looking around, the reason we keep coming back and why this is our home is look at all the people. I mean, you want to come out and feel like you're welcomed and feel like you're at home, come here and pray you don't kill somebody with your bad shot.
Boy, that's so true.
No, I mean, incredible atmosphere. You guys have such a huge following here. And, Darius, I know, too, for you guys, charity, do a lot with the South Carolina educational system with everything you guys raise here.
Yeah, we've got to do some really cool hands-on stuff for kids in South Carolina, and we've done some stuff nationally too. Just stuff that really moves us and that we can help, and we like to help hands-on, a little bit here, a little, we can't change anybody's life, but we can try to help make your life a little bit better. And having a foundation and being able to do that is just something we've wanted to do, and it's just awesome to see what happens with this tournament.
It's incredible. So I always ask this to people, put them on the spot, especially after a great round like Spieth had, but I'll even take it a step forward. All your Hootie and the Blowfish success, all your success in country music, or 18 majors.
Oh, 18 majors.
Yeah. Well, that's about it. Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Not even a question.
Oh, yeah, 18 majors. For sure.
Yeah. No hesitation. Now, Golic says he'd rock the green jacket everywhere. Would you rock the green jacket? Would you wear it out?
I don't think they let you take it from the club.
See, that's what I wasn't sure of.
But I would have one made, and I'd rock it.
They not let you take it.
Yeah,
I don't understand that.
Could get a stain, could rip it.
They can make another one. For God's sake, you won that thing. I mean, that should travel like the Stanley Cup.
You know why they don't let you take it?
Why?
Because they don't want you to, and that's enough for me.
That's it. You were just listening. I said two things in life. I wanted to have a body good enough to never have to wear a shirt. I didn't get that. And then I'd wear a green jacket everywhere. So if I had the great body, I'd wear no shirt but just the green jacket. How awful to look with that.
Awful.
That's not
as bad as Kardashian, though, so we're okay.
That's a good point. Yeah. I'm not oiled up and naked.
There's a lot of people here who are still recovering from a fun night last night that probably don't want these images you keep placing.
You know what I just did? I helped them clear out their bellies to get ready to go.
Now they're ready to get on the course. That's right. Darius, I know your album just came out as well, March 31st, I believe.
Yeah.
I was listening to it on the plane. It's terrific.
Oh, thank you, man.
It's really great stuff.
Thank you.
I know it's doing well. And
yeah, it is.
It's a good, if Golic needs to, just have something in his ears as he's playing to kind of guide his game.
Well, that's what we do whenever I'm golfing with Pat White. That's all we do is we just turn up all his music and play.
Why would you do that?
I know.
You just made him so happy.
I know. It's my fault. What is absolutely my fault. You know who's going to pay the most for that? You.
I know.
That is so true. But it just gives me a whole other bunch of songs to try and kill on the air now.
There you go. Absolutely.
And the track you guys did for the show for Monday
years ago.
Years ago.
Cool.
That was
still rocking it. It sounds terrific.
Yeah, Mark wrote that.
Really good
just
stuff.
A great day, and then you guys got a busy night again tonight, huh? Kind of running getting everything going out there.
Showtime.
It's such a great show. Great show.
So the concert tonight, and
it's fantastic.
And this event, it sells out in a couple hours. It's just so popular.
It's one of the best out there. Celebrity programs out there.
Have a great time.
Thank you guys for having us here, and obviously it's great to be a part of.
Greeny is sorry he couldn't be here.
Oh, absolutely.
Dealing with the family issues he is.
And he, Golic clarified earlier, Darius, that while you're his good friend and Greeny tries to claim you, really that's an acquaintance. This is the real friendship.
Right,
here.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And you're not even involved.
I'm not even. I'm lucky if I end up in a photo here.
I mean, we're going to end the segment, walk away. All these guys are going to say, "Who is that again?"
Right.
Why is he sitting on phone book?
Yeah, that's right.
I should do it, should I?
Maybe not.
Okay.
No?
Yes.
You sure?
Okay.
This has been the best of Mike and Mike on ESPN Radio Pod Center. To hear more from Mike and Mike, log on to ESPNRadio.com and become an ESPN Radio Insider.
The best of Mike and Mike.
ESPN Radio, bringing you directly to the biggest events in sports.
Center field, will hit, Hunter back, out of here!
From opening day of baseball,
Throw to the plate, safe at the plate!
right through the World Series.
For the third time in 5 seasons, the San Francisco Giants are the champions of the baseball world.
Whether it's LeBron, Chris Paul, or Kevin Durant, when the NBA tips off, ESPN Radio is right there when a champion is crowned.
We have a new world champion. The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
And when the magic of bowl season arrives, ESPN Radio is your home for the new college football playoff.
The college football playoff first national champion, the Ohio State Buckeyes.
The biggest events in sports can be found right here on ESPN Radio.
Hey, Mike Golic here, and I certainly love to fish. And when my dad took me out fishing for the first time when I was 6 and I caught that bluegill, I was so proud. Such a great memory, an experience everybody should have. Whether it's the first of the day or first of a lifetime, TakeMeFishing.org wants you to get out and make your first catch. And if you show them using hashtag FirstCatchSweeps, you can win an Evinrude E-Tech G2 powered Ranger bass boat. Learn more at TakeMeFishing.org.
No purchase necessary. 48 U.S. and D.C. 18 and older. Ends 5/25/15. Void in Alaska, Hawaii, and where prohibited. See site for rules.
Two of baseball's best go head-to-head in interleague action when the Tigers head to St. Louis to face the Cardinals. That one is gone. The pregame at 7 Eastern, first pitch at 8, Sunday on ESPN and ESPN Radio.